Any questions after the game?
Yeah, Sean. I know you're only here for a little bit, but this losing streak that this team had with the Chiefs, do you sense now that you put it behind you, how big it was, this win today?
I think, look, a fair question. It's an important game for us, and it wasn't streak-driven. It was important for us to play well before the bye. Get into our third win. We dug ourselves in a hole. Obviously, we're playing a good team. But I honestly, and I told you guys during the week, not once does it come up. And, I recognize there are a few players that have gone through that time frame. But when you have a new roster, the focus was really on this game. And I thought we did the things you do when you win. We were +4 in the turnover battle. We rushed the ball better than they did. I thought we defensively did a fantastic job with their offense and a tough offense. And we didn't have the sack production, but we had a lot of hurries. And I felt like we did a good job of keeping him off schedule. Offensively, we really felt good coming into this game with our plan. You're always frustrated because I felt like it was one of those games where we could score a lot, but I was pleased with how we ran the ball. We had some big drives, and then in the kicking game, the turnover on that hurried up punt was big. So there were a lot of things to look at that were positive. We're going to play in bigger games than that, but it is a division game, and I'm glad we won.
Yeah, Sean, after the defense got off to such a rough start this season, can you just speak to the turnaround, and what do you think has gone into them playing so much better?
Look, when you struggle stopping the run, man, it's like then everything else gets stressed. Your safeties are lower to the line of scrimmage, your pass. So I think our ability to play the run would be the first thing that comes to my mind when you ask that question. I think playing it better. And then so your down and distances because of that are a little bit more favorable. I think we defended a lot of 3rd and longs today. So that would be the first thing I would say.
Coach, to your left, you talked last week about how teams that win football games tend to be able to overcome adversity in those tough moments, the calls that go against them. How do you see the team do that today?
Yeah, look, that's a good crew we had. We had them during camp. There's always that. In a 3-hour game, there's that emotion that and the momentum, you talk about it. You want to keep it when you have it and then quickly rebound. And so there's certain things that take place in the flow of a game. But I said to him before the game, I said, look, recognize the team you're playing. You're not going to win this game in the first 2 or 3 quarters. You're going to have to win this game. So get on to the next play, myself included. You get mad because you think they were offsides on a blocked field goal. You got to get to the next series. And I thought we did a good job of that.
Coach, what's the biggest step that you think you've accomplished with this game? And are you going to be circling parking lots, food choice for tonight? What's going on there?
We'll have a better food choice, at least for me. No, I look, you want to see your team improving. And I think that's important. I thought we had our best practice since I've been here on Wednesday. I think I mentioned it to you. I don't know if I said that, but Wednesday's practice was really good. So as a coach, as a teacher, you get inspired, and we put in a lot of long hours in this week on this plan, but you want it for them. And look, the opponent oftentimes is just yourself and your preparation and getting ready to play, and because the games roll through, and next week, 2 weeks it's Buffalo, then I can't tell you who's after that, but it's really more of an inward battle constantly in our industry, and getting mentally and physically ready to play a game. And I knew we were ready at the end of this week. I knew we were ready last night, and yeah, I felt good going into the game.
Was that different than in weeks past?
Well, weeks past, part of that is not knowing enough yet, knowing the team. You know what I mean? We're past obviously the quarter pole, but you get to know your team a little bit more, and I like what I've seen.
Sean, earlier in the year, after a couple of the tough losses, you talked about the team learning how to win. So with a couple good wins now, a close one last week.
It's an ongoing process. It's not easy in this league. I think I've used that term, fine line, between a groove and a rut, and I really think that's true, because the teams are, competitive. So I think it's what we saw with Detroit a year ago when we watched them with their slow start, and so the focus has been on us.
Coach, you had more rushes than passing attempts today. Why was that important to have that be the game plan?
Well, yeah, Patrick told me that. I wouldn't have been able to guess how many. Normally speaking, when you get into 4 minute, that's when you pick up 10 extra rushes, right? And they're not always good ones, because you're going against a goal line or a heavy loaded front. But so count 10 extra ones when you're running out there, 8 extra ones. But we ran the ball well the last time we played them. We just felt like we needed to throw it better and score, and we were able to do that to some extent, but enough to win.
Sean, right here, does this victory change anything in your approach to the trade deadline, and what is exactly your approach?
There's no approach, meaning, honestly, and you guys know this, it's a busy time of the year, and there's pressure on news media to be on top of potential stories, trade stories, and the teams that aren't doing as well always fall into this position, and I understand it. But we're not the team looking to go out and buy, and so we can't control the buyers that call. We always pick the phone up. You have to professionally, but that's it. I mean, this doesn't, we've got a plan on where we see ourselves, and that's an honest answer. I mean, when I see or hear things, I chuckle because I'm thinking, well, I haven't talked to anyone about that. And if I haven't, then it's probably not true.
John, you're right. What have you learned about this group since Miami?
I think we're learning a little bit more about each other. I think a team can build an identity, and I think we're kind of in that journey right now. And I was pleased for them today, though. I was because they had a good week of work, and that doesn't always equate to a win in our league, but it gives you a chance.
What's your identity?
I just said we're in the midst of building it. All right. Thank you, guys.